Oh boy. Okay, we'll wait until see who's in. Happy, oh my gosh, I'm a little bit late today. Still haven't got anyone yet. We got one on. Happy Friday, Big D. What's up, Jin? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm a little bit late today. I apologize. We got 5 people. Happy Friday, you guys. Happy Friday. Suvia, what's up? How are you guys doing today? Happy Friday, you guys. Mal, welcome back, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while. You guys, sorry. I'm sorry that I was late today. I really apologize. Just got a couple of things going on. We're on a tight schedule today. It's going to be a 30-minute run because after that, I'm having a one-on-one call with Daniel, our lucky winner. So, anyways, you guys, what's going on? How are you guys doing today? Happy Friday. In the trenches, bro. I understand. I hear you, man. I hear you. You guys, where are you guys coming in at? What time is it in your time? How are you guys doing today? Let me know. Let me know. Okay, well, we got 7 people. Let's get started. You guys, today I'm going to talk to you guys about the deal. We made $15,000 on this deal, and I'll share with you guys how I found this deal. Okay, it's another Story Friday deal, number 7. And thank you for every single one of you guys who are able to tune in with me live today. I really, really, truly appreciate it. So don't be shy. Smash those thumbs up for me. If I in this video, if I add any value to you, or if you hear something you like, don't be shy. Smash those thumbs up, you guys. Smash them up. So, anyways, here goes. So, how we found this deal was, at this time, I was driving around, and we're doing driving for dollar. All right. At this time, I was doing driving for dollars. So we're driving. So we pick out an old neighborhood that we want to drive. All right. And I was also too at the same time was driving up to one of my rental properties. And as I was circling back, about to go home, right there at the stop sign at the intersections, I saw this house. It feels like it seems like it was vacant, but on the outside it just needs a whole lot of work. So when you're driving for dollars, those are the key things, and I'm sure you guys know it too. You know, grow tall growing grasses. You know, if the house seems like it needs work. This house has boarded up windows. It just looks like it's a fixer upper. So what I did was I stopped by, knock on the door, nobody's home, and then I took out my. At the time, if you guys follow me, that's pretty much what I did. I carry around one of this guy because I take all my notes down here and the property address, etc. So this is a no. Don't do this. So what I did was, maybe you guys are driving for dollars. So what I did, I took out one of these and I wrote down, "Hi, my name is Khang. I want to buy your house. Please give me a call. I'm willing to buy as is. I'll pay cash for it." So that's what I did. I wrote down and I just take up, "Hey, what's up, Francine?" I think that's how I'm probably pronounced it wrong. So I take this piece of paper. That's all I wrote, and then I pop it on their front door, and I pop it on a couple windows. I want to make sure that they're going to see my notes. All right. So I pop it on there. Drove off. You know, obviously, drove off. 2 weeks later. I drive by it again. I saw my notes was gone, but I didn't get any calls. So what I did was I did it again, but this time I went extreme. I took out that paper and wrote down maybe 5 different notes. I smashed them on the windows. I put a couple on the doors. So I wanted them to give me a call back. I want to get their attention. And then a month later, I got a call from them. All right, a month later, I got a call from them saying, "Hey, we got a bunch of your notes at our property here. You know, we're not looking to sell right now. etc. And then I planted the seeds. I said, okay, not a problem at all. Just want to let you know that we are looking to buy some properties in the area. We're a local investor. We pay cash when we buy, but we're very interested in making you a no risk, no obligation on your property. So if you ever consider selling, please give us a call back. And you guys, you gotta plant those seeds. You gotta plant that. You gotta plant that in your in the seller's minds. When they are ready, they'll give you a call. So, anyways, about a week or 2 weeks later, the seller did call me back, and then we start to talk, etc. Now, this time, you guys, I didn't know how to kind of deal with seller over the phone. So at this time, I was going out there and I was meeting up with the seller. Okay, so I went, we went out there, went to his living room, and before I got to, before I get to go out and visit his house, he said, Khang, I want to meet you at a coffee shop. We want to know who you are, etc. before we kind of let you in the house, right? They're pretty protective and want to know, they just don't want to, they said they don't want to let random strangers just go inside the house, and obviously understandable. So I said, yeah, not a problem at all. These couple were in their, probably in their 70s. So we sat down with coffee. I bought them coffee. And then they kind of shared with me their whole stories, why they're selling it. They said this house, Khang, is part of her family and spent it with the family for generation and generation and generation. And the husband wanted to sell. The wife was attached to the property, and she doesn't want to sell because there's a lot of sentimentals in that house for her. So he said, Khang, you gotta help me to talk to the wife so that way she's willing to let go of the property, because he said, I'm tired of it. There's a lot of stuff inside the house. She's been going back there and cleaning. Her doctor was telling her that she has health issue and she shouldn't be going up and down the stairs anymore. So basically at this time the house is vacant. They already moved into a it's not a nursing home, but there's a mobile home park. There's a mobile home park for elderly people. So they've already moved away from this 2-story house and moved into that already. And he's ready to sell the place and not have to have his wife come back and and go up and down the stairs, and she just keep on wanting to go over that place, and he just wants to be done with it, right? Now the wife is not wanting to sell because obviously she has a lot of sentimental in the property. So I chat with them for about half an hour, and then they decided to say, okay, Khang, you know what, let's go over to the house, let's take a walk around the place, and then let me know what you can offer it. And he said, Khang, I'm not going to give it away. I just want you to know that I'm not going to give it away. I said I absolutely understand that. I don't expect you to give it away. Our whole goal is to see if we can come together to an agreement on a price that work for you and for us, and make it win-win. And so anyways, after I said that, we drove over to the property, sat down there, and I sat down and probably chat with them for about another, I would say 45 to an hour. Didn't close the deal. At the time, they wanted $280,000. They wanted $280,000. The property is probably worth maybe in the $290 to $300 fix up, like granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, like everything updated. That's how much it's worth. All right, but they wanted $280 because they said one of the realtor told them that, hey, this property can get up to like $350, and so the realtor told them this should be their starting point. So I pretty much kind of let him know, and I said, there's no way that we'll be able to pay this amount. This is more of when it's after it's fixed up, and I said that, the property's going to need about $40,000 or $50,000 in repair. So our offer to him at that time was $180. As you guys can see, we're so far apart. We're about $100,000 apart. So anyways, we didn't agree, and I said, you guys, if you ever change your mind, give us a call back at that time. But I understand at this time, we couldn't come together to an agreement on a fair price that worked for you and for us. So I pretty much, left. And they said, before I left, they said, Khang, we're probably just going to list the property if you couldn't pay that much. And they were just consistently believing that they can sell for 280. I said, not a problem at all. Obviously, obviously we understand that you want to get the most you can for the property. As an investor, it just won't work for us. But I said, please I said, I want you to know that we're willing to buy the property as is, and we want to provide you with a hassle-free sale. So if you ever need that, give me a call back. So anyways, after that, and then I went up and visit my rental property again. I saw the sign up, right? I had some hope, because when I left, they said, well, we're going to talk about it, but we think we're going to list it. But, I don't want to show the property to a bunch of people and have them walk through the house, etc. So I kind of I was hoping that they would call back and be able to do a deal with them. But after a week or two, I drove by the property. I saw the sign up with the agent, and I said, oh, man, this is it. I said, oh, that's it. I lost a deal. But I decided, you know what, I put it on my follow-up, and within 2 months later, I called them up, and I said, hey, I saw the signs up. How's everything going? They said, no, we haven't got it. I asked them, you guys got any offer yet, etc. He said no, but we might have someone putting in an offer very shortly. So anyways, after 2 months, I called just to chat with them, see where they're at, and then I gave it another month. So after about 3 to 4 months, I called them back, and you guys, I was able to do a deal with them, because they said that an agent's been showing the property, and we had an offer, and an offer fell through. And he said, Khang, I'm tired of it. I had enough, with all the, and he said that he's just ready now to sell the property. But I said, since the property's already listed, we'll probably have to go through your agent, and, to go through your agents, because I said, we obviously don't want to step on anybody's toes. Victor, happy Friday. So, we want to make sure, so that's what I told the seller. And then I said, when your listing does become expire or unlisted, then give us a call back at that time. But at this time, if we are gonna to buy it, we'll probably have to go through your agents to make an offer, all right? Because we don't want to go behind his back, etc. And he said, Khang, I respect that, and I value that when you say that as a business, all right? And he said, sounds good. So anyways, two weeks later, he called me back. He said, hey, the agent is a friend of ours. We already told him we're going to cancel the deal, etc. So Khang, we're ready to do a deal with you, but where can you meet us in price? I said, well, 280 is just not going to work. And I said, what are you guys, what's the least you guys are willing to take? And we can come in, we can pay all cash. So I start naming off the benefit, right? We can pay all cash. And this time, you guys, I was doing this deal over at their dinner table at their own home. And I said, if we can pay all cash, we come in, we close quickly. You come into the property, you take whatever you want with you, and whatever you don't want, just leave it as is. You don't have to clean it. You don't have to throw anything away. And we'll take care of that after we close this, all right? He said, Khang, that sounds so good. He said, that sounds so good. And then, so it comes to price, right? So now he came down from 280 to like 240. And we're still at 180. I said, it seems like we're still very far away in price. And at the 240, I said, it's still not going to work. And then I said, would you consider 185? So I went up 5,000. I said, would you consider 185? We'll pay for all your closing costs. So now I started to say, we take care of all your closing costs and fee. So whatever price that we agreed upon, that will be, that will be in your pocket at closing. Could you guys see yourself doing that? He said, Khang, can I take a little moment to chat with the wife? So I said, not a problem at all. So they kind of went into their little corner, and they start to talk about it, and they came back and they said, Khang, so at 185, if we agree to your 185, you guys are going to take care of all the fees. You guys are going to do everything. We don't have to worry about coming back and cleaning the property. Is that correct? I said, that is absolutely correct. You can come back and get whatever you want, whatever you don't want, just leave it there. And then they said, well, Khang, there's a couple things that we probably want to get after we close this. There's just some big items that I want to take after we close the property, on the property. Is that okay? I said, yes, that will be just fine. Not a problem at all. So anyways, we signed the agreement, and then we push it out to about 40 days closing. All right, 40 days closing. Remember, you guys, you want to get as much time on the closing as you can. And the best way to ask, and the best way to do that is, remember, always ask the seller. The question is, how soon do you want to sell and close escrow? Because that also tells you is what their motivation is. If they're saying, yep, nope, we need to close right away, we need to close in 7 days, 15 days, then you want to ask them, what's the reason? You know, why? You know, so because you want to start picking, right? You want to start picking. You want them to start unveiling why do they need to close that quickly. Okay, but typically if they say that I want to close within the next 15 days or 7 days or whatever, then I said we're closing between 30 to 45 days. Would that be okay with you? You guys, you want to get as much time as possible because you want the time so you can go out there and find your cash buyer, all right? Because you don't want to promise 15 days and then now you're struggling and you couldn't find that buyer, and you have to come back and tell the seller to get an extension, or eventually, or could possibly cancel the deal. So you want to get as much time as possible, and the best thing is ask the seller how much time they want, because a lot of times they said they agreed on the price and they said, Khang, I really don't, whenever. Okay, whenever, great. So with closing within the next 45 to 60 days, would that be okay with you? So when they say there's really no time period, try to get 60 days or even 90 days, right? Depend on how much you know your area and how much cash buy you have already. So typically when they tell me I want to close quickly, 15 days, 7 days, 10 days, I said we're closing within the next 30 to 45 days would be okay with you. And if they say 45 days too long, Khang, maybe 30 days or less, then this is what I tell them. I said, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, we rather under promise and over deliver for you than having to over promise and under deliver. When I said closing within the next 30 to 45 days, we typically have successfully closed property within 7, 10, or 15 days. But we want to make sure that we give, the title company or the attorney plenty of time to do their paperwork. We don't want anything to mess up. We don't want them, sometimes they have a lot of paperwork in front of them where we don't want to rush them. We don't want to cause an issue, etc. I know, 28 watching, you guys. Thank you so much, you guys, every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So please, if I add any value, don't be shy. Smash those thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. So anyways, let's get back into it. So remember, you tell them that. You said, hey, we don't want any paperwork to mess up. We want to make sure that you get the amount of money that we agreed upon. So we don't want any issue. So a lot of time when you say, hey, we don't want the paperwork to mess up, we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver for you. Happy Friday, Jay. Happy Friday. I'm back. I'm sorry about that, you guys. So anyways, so when you say, hey, we rather under promise and over deliver, and then we also want to make sure that the title company or the attorney have plenty of time to do their paperwork and get it done properly, so that way there's no issue. So you get the amount of money, we getting our free and clear title, etc. So when you say that, the sellers will be like, okay, because they in their mind, they probably have never done this on a daily basis. So they are worried, oh yeah, I don't want the paper to mess up. Yes, I want to get the money I want, etc. And so when you tell them that, seller will typically be okay, all right? So, and remember, you guys, that amount of time that you can get, once you find a buyer, you can close as quickly as they can. So you don't have to wait until that 30 days or that 45 days that you agree with the seller. Once the buyer is ready, you can say, hey, we're going to close in at 7 days, 10 days, 15 days, all right? So when I first started, I didn't know that. I thought that once I agree with the seller on this day, then I have to line the buyer up to close on that exact same day. So I had to wait, like sometimes I found the buyer and I waited for like 20 days or 25 days. What I'm telling you guys is don't. Once the buyer's ready, the agreement with you and that end buyer, just set the closing date out to whenever that buyer can close on, all right? And then the amount of time that you have between you and the seller, it doesn't even matter, Okay, so now on this deal, how I found the buyer is it took me about 5 or 6 days to find the buyer on this one. Now we sent it out to our buyers. Now the buyer that came in on this deal, I'm sorry, you guys. The buyer that came in on this deal, he was an agent slash investor. You guys, a lot of some of the agents out there are as an agent and as an investor as well. All right, and he came in. He said, "Hey, Khang, I'm gonna bring a partner on this deal." And that's pretty much it. We set up the appointment with him and the seller to walk through the house. We let him know, hey, this is a one-time deal. Make sure you bring your contractor. So he brought one of his partner and his general contractor to go through the property. They went to it, and then they took about an hour and a half, walked through walked through the entire property, came back and told him. So we marketed this out 185. We marketed it out for 200. Buyer came back, did their walkthrough, and said, Khang, we're ready to pull the trigger. We're ready to do it. How much money do we have to put down? What is your assignment fee, etc. All right. So at this time, the spread was only $15,000, but I still didn't tell the buyer what the assignment fee is. I said, okay, the price is $200, right? And then you would have to deposit. At this time, I said you would have to deposit $15,000 into escrow the next day, and then I asked him back, how soon can you guys close? He said, Khang, we can close this thing up like maybe in 10 days. I said, boom, you're done. I said, done. So I sent over the assignment agreement. The buyer signs it, send it back to me, and then we sign it. I send that assignment into Chicago Title. They call the buyer up. So remember, you guys, once you have found that buyer, you send all the agreement into the title company. They're gonna call the buyer up. Now their job is they read that agreement. Their job now is to get that deposit right from that buyer. So whether that is wire, they can send over a wire instructions to that buyer, or that buyer can go through to that title company and drop off a check. Make sure that the buyer drop off a cashier check, not a personal check. Okay, you guys, a personal check takes about 7 to 10 business days or so to clear. And in that time, they can call up their company, and they can say, they can call up their bank. I'm sorry, they can call up the bank and say, yep, void that check, cancel that check. No, you want them to make sure that they drop off a cashier check. Cashier check is just like cash. Once they drop it off, boom, you're done, bro. You're done. You're locked in, okay? So, yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I said, hey, drop it off. And then that's exactly what happened. We closed after, we pretty much closed after 10 days. And that's pretty much it for this deal, you guys. That's it. So, anyways, you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm just checking on the time. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Once again, thank you so much for every single one of you guys that are able to tune in to every single Friday. I'm doing a live Friday deal at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. Who pays for the title search? Buyers. So you guys got to understand, when you tell the buyers, hey, you're going to pay for all the closing costs, they're paying for everything. Excise tax, transfer tax, title insurance, escrow fee, title, everything, title search, everything like that. The buyer's going to pay for it. As a wholesaler, you don't pay for any fees, all right? You don't pay for any fees at all. They're going to pay for anything. And once you build a relationship with your title company, you guys, once you build a relationship with your title company, sometimes they do the title report search. They do all that for you. And then if you end up didn't close on that deal, nobody pay for it. The buyers doesn't pay for it. It doesn't come out. It doesn't come out of your fees. Nothing like that, okay? Do you open escrow once you get the purchase? Okay. Do purchase and sell, or when you get all the documents signed, including the assignment fee. So once I get a purchase and sell agreement between me, us and the seller, I send it right into our title company, because you got to understand that in that agreement, it's already going to protect you to say, hey, if the deal doesn't work out, you can cancel the deal, all right? So what it is yesterday I have a questions of one of you guys asked is that, now, when I decided if the deal doesn't work and if we're going to cancel the deal with the seller, what do I need? Do I need to send them a letter? Do I call them up? Easy. all you guys do is you guys just gonna send the seller an addendum, all right, an addendum stating to the purchase and sale agreement with the address, and all you're gonna say is that the purchase and sale contract shall be canceled and void due to inspection. That's it. And then you send it out there. You know, you send it. The seller sign. You sign it. You send it to the title company, and then they will make sure that that's canceled. But oh wait, also make sure that on the bottom, add in that the earnest money escrow shall refund earnest money back to buyer within 3 business day. All right, within 3 business day. So that way you can get your earnest money back. But it really depends on the situation. Like I said, if there are situations where we brought the buyer in, the buyer backed out, and the sellers, you know, the buyer backed out. So we just tell the seller, hey, here's the earnest money, right? They can keep it, and then we keep the buyer, deposit, right? So. Anyways, you guys, I think it is time for me to get off. I got to get on that call with Daniel. So you guys, thank you so much, everyone that have subscribed to the channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed and you're interested in learning about how to use formula for calculating ARV. ARV is when you are going through a Mercedes dealer. Probably today to the Mercedes dealer. How do you use the specific formula? Yes, it's so it's ARV minus 30% or times 70% minus repair and then minus your fee. That's the formula. But like I said, a lot of times it depends. If you have cash buyer that you know they can pay 20 to 25% instead of 30%, then you can tie that property up. You know, then you can tie that property up for a little bit higher price. All right, but it really depends on depend on your market and how well you know your cash buyer of what they're willing to pay. Now we're able to tie up our deal at a higher price because of how competitive the market at a higher price, but we know because we have buyers that's willing to pay 20 to 25% instead of that low discount of 30%. What do you say to the seller when people come and look at the property? So basically, when you sent your buyers to come out, make sure that you tell the seller, hey, you know what, we're going to have our contractor to come out there to give us an estimate of all the repair costs, all right? And then you tell your buyer, hey, you are there on behalf of our company as a contractor to get the repair costs. So when you tell the seller that this is your contractor, then they know that hey, they're not going to discuss price. But like I was telling with you guys, it's nice if you guys can send someone out there to facilitate friend, family member, or maybe other wholesaler or co-wholesaler that can be there that to facilitates the buyer and the seller. All right. Anyways, you guys, I gotta get off. Thank you so much, you guys. You guys have been super duper amazing, supportive in my channel. Thank you so much. I'm gonna give a couple shout out here. Kenneth, happy Friday. Jay Browning, happy Friday. Abel, happy Friday. You guys, thank you so much. Jin, thumbs up, you guys. Don't be shy. Smash those thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend, and you guys go and kill it. Make it happen. Bye, you guys.